Hello everyone, it's Angel from the Abernathy's Go Green, and today I have for you a concealer roundup video. Today we're just going to talk about some concealers that I have amassed over the past couple of years and talk about my experience with them and how they compare with each other. So hopefully if you're in the market for a concealer, I can maybe help you find your perfect one. I also have a couple of tools to talk about to help with concealer application, as well as some setting powders that I like to use with them. Before we get started though, I do have a couple of things that I want to get out of the way. I use concealers mainly to brighten under my eyes. I really don't get some gnarly under eye circles. I do tend to get a little purple right here in my inner corners if I don't get enough sleep. So really what I want is to just help brighten my under eyes. And I also want to mention that everything creases on me. Even when I used conventional concealers back in the day, those all creased on me. I have these two little folds under my eyes just from my eye shape, so concealers just tend to find their way up there, which is no big deal. I just take my finger and just kind of blend it in to get rid of it, and it's no big deal. All of the concealers that I'm going to talk about today have pretty clean ingredients that meet my standard. I will leave it up to you to check out the ingredients of whichever one you're interested in, but for me these are clean enough for me. There are some synthetic ingredients, but I am personally okay with synthetic ingredients as long as they're safe. None of these have straight up coconut oil, but some of them do have the caprylic triglyceride, and I know that I've been using a lot of these for a while and I have not noticed any kind of milia developing under my eyes. So if that's a concern for you, know that none of these have given me that. And also these are all colored with minerals and some fruit pigments, and none of them have the bismuth oxychloride that I am sensitive to. So now that we got all those out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I took notes, so you'll see me referring to this every once in a while, just to make sure that I cover all my bases and not miss anything. The first thing that I have here for you guys is the Naturale Cream Corrector in the shade Flax. You get 3 grams of products in here and it is $24. In the range there are 5 shades, which are linen, peach, flax, sweet basil, and lavender, and they're all meant for concealing certain things. So I have this one in the shade Flax, like I said, and this is supposed to be the yellowish color that they have, and this is meant for concealing purple or blue bruises, veins, under eye circles. So yeah, I like to use this for under my eyes. It is, I think, the most versatile, and it's really good for brightening the complexion. A lot of skin colors can benefit from this shade. So I really like the packaging of this because you just twist it up and I just draw it onto my inner corners to cover that little purple that I get if I don't get enough sleep. And then I just use my fingertips to blend. I can get away with using this on its own if I just want a little bit of brightening, or follow it with any of these concealers that I'm about to talk about. And I think the texture of this is just perfect too, because it's not too emollient and it's not drying either. And I find that it plays really well under any concealer that I put on top of it. And I do have little clips of me applying each of these concealers, so I'll insert those after I talk about each concealer. So the next concealer that I have to talk about is the 100% Pure Long Last Concealer. You get 3 grams of product in this packaging, which, by the way, I just looked on their website, and if you get this now, it doesn't have the super cheesy sticker that they have here. It's just the purple packaging, and it is $26. It comes in 6 shades. I have it in the shade White Peach, which is the 3rd in the range. So it needs a little bit of work, really, the shade range on this. But this has been around for a very long time and they haven't done anything to expand the range. And it's in a little packaging like this. It has a mirror, and as you can see, this is one of my favorites. I'm almost out of this. It says on the website that it's supposed to be full coverage, but I really don't think that it is. This is what I'm wearing right now. I like this the most for just really brightening the under eye. It doesn't do any covering of dark circles at all whatsoever, I don't think, for me anyways. It says also on the website that it has a satin finish, but this is definitely like putting lip gloss under your eyes. It is so emollient. As you can see, even in the pan, you see a lot of the emollients, and it is just really wet looking. So I do have to set this with a powder. I am one who prefers a very dewy complexion, but this is just a little too much for under my eyes especially. I just set it with a little bit of powder and I'm good to go. Like I said, this is one of my favorites because it doesn't offer a lot of coverage, and it's, I think, perfect for every day, especially now in the summer when I really don't want a lot of coverage under my under eyes and I wear minimal makeup everywhere else, so this has been my go-to. So the third concealer that I have is the Elate Clean Cosmetics Cream Revealer. This particular one I did get in a Petit Vour box, and this is the 4 grams of product in here, which is not available for purchase, but they do have a full size with 9 ml of product for $22, and in the Elate website they have the 0.5 mls for $4 if you want to sample it. It comes in 5 shades, and I have this in the shade Fawn, which is the third in the range. And then there's one shade darker than this one, just like maybe a shade or two deeper. And then it jumps to a really deep shade. So I really do think that they need to work on their shade range. So it just comes in the little packaging like this. The full size is also very similar, just with the cap, and it's plastic. I've used quite a bit of this. It has just a tiny bit more coverage than the 100% pure one that I just mentioned, and this I can only use my fingertips because you really do need the warmth of your fingers to warm the product up. If I just were to dip a brush in here, it won't work. Like right now it feels like plastic. Like I'm hardly picking up any pigments at all. The first couple of times that I've used this, I didn't know that, and I keep thinking like that I got a bad product, but once I got my finger in there and got it warmed up, then it just blends really beautifully. It's a really good product. I just really think that they need to work on their shade range. I reach for this when, like I said, I want a little bit more coverage than the 100% pure one offers. The next product that I have is from Honest Beauty with its reflective packaging. This has 2 grams of product, retailing at $20. I really like this because it comes in a little duo, and they have 5 shades in their range, so I guess 10 total if you count each pan, but their shade range is quite wide between the 5 combos that they have. If you look on the Honest Beauty website right now, they did repackage a lot of their stuff, but the concealer is still in the silver packaging. Like I said, I like that it has the 2 shades, so I use one for under my eyes and the other one just for around my face, and then you can either combine both shades to get the right shade for your skin tone. So this would be the perfect concealer for me if not for the fact that the formula in these are very drying. You dip your finger in there and it's very like sticky, it's very hard to blend, it clings to your dry patches, and it just accentuates every imperfection that I have under my eyes. If I were to put this one on, like, let's say on top of a zit to cover it up, it just accentuates it because of the really dry formula. The way that I have made this work is I mix in a little bit of a face oil. Either apply it under my eye first, the face oil under my eye, and then go in with this, or have a little bit of a face oil on my fingertips and then mix it into the cream and then blend it onto my face. So for that reason that I have to take that extra step and add my face oils, it's not my favorite. I just wish it was just a little bit more emollient. I think it would be perfect to throw in your purse for touch-ups, you know, if you're one to do touch-ups throughout the day, because like I said, it has the shade for under your eyes and for the rest of your face. But because it's so dry, it's such a dry formula for me anyways, this is not one of my favorites. So the fifth product that I have for you guys is the Hynt Beauty Duet Perfecting Concealer. This is a Green Beauty favorite. This gives you 6 grams of product in this beautiful packaging for $24. I have it in the shade Light, which is the second from the lightest. I appreciate that they have 7 shades and that they name their shades very straightforward. There's fair, light, medium tan, tan, dark, and deep. It kind of really takes the guesswork out of figuring out where you lie in the range because they call the shades as such. It also has aloe in this formula, so it's very hydrating, as well as some butter, so it's never drying for your under eyes. This is the fullest coverage of all the concealers that I am going to talk about today. Since it is more full coverage, I do tend to reach for it more in the fall and winter because I wear more heavier makeup, as does everybody else, I think, in the fall and winter seasons. And in the fall and winter, I tend to have dryness under my eyes, and since it has the aloe and all the butters in there, it is very hydrating for my under eye, so it's perfect. The packaging is also very beautiful in this frosted glass. A lot of people complain about the lettering on top wearing off, and like mine says, only Hint Bow, because the TY is gone from the packaging, but it doesn't really bother me. I know what's in here. Yeah, this formula is just so beautiful. You put your finger in there to warm the product up and it just glides. And it is a dream to blend under your under eyes. It is certainly one of my favorites. And then one last concealer that I have here is the Well People Bio Correct Multi-Action Concealer. If you're not a fan of the pot packaging of this Hynt Beauty, this is a concealer that comes in a little squeezy tube, and I did wear the Hynt Beauty under one eye and the Well People under the other, and they do provide the same amount of coverage under my eyes. They looked identical whenever I applied it under my eyes. Oh, and the price. The full size of this from their website is $22.99, and they also have a mini for $11.99, and you can sample it for $1.50. If you already know what your shade might be, I always tell people to get Well People products from Pharmaca because they are always on sale there, and you always have like a % off coupon code. Like right now they have 20% off on top of their already on sale price on the Well People products. They are available in 4 shades, in fair, light, medium, and medium dark, and I have this in the shade fair, which is the lightest shade. So if I can wear the lightest shade, I mean, I'm not the lightest person in the world. Obviously the shade range needs a little bit of work. We were hoping that they would expand their shade range whenever they first came out. This came out about over a year ago, but they haven't done anything to expand their shade range. I wish that they would, because this is really good. If you're not a skincare person, this has coffee to depuff your under eye, and it also has algae to brighten and some peptides to help firm up your under eye. So I suggest this for individuals who is not really into skincare but more into makeup, because it already has all that skincare benefits added whenever you conceal your under eyes. Also, one thing I guess I want to mention between the packaging is a lot of people are not fans of the pot packaging where you have to dip your fingers into the product. I see a lot of that, like, that's not sanitary. Since these formulas don't have water in them, really the likelihood of it growing anything funky is very minute. But if you're still, you know, I would rather not, then, you know, there's these packaging for you guys. So I have 3 setting powders here that I like to use for my under eyes, and I think I'm gonna just really quickly tell you guys about them. The first one, and this is really one of my favorites, is the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder. And that's what the packaging looks like, and it's a loose powder, and it has a locking sifter, which I like, so that way the powder doesn't get everywhere. I like this because it doesn't completely mattify my skin. This has pearl powder in it, so it gives you that little bit of sheen and kind of a lit from within glow, but at the same time locking in your concealer in place. This is my powder of choice whenever I wear the Hynt Beauty Concealer. And I also like this to set my T-zone, because it's good at setting your makeup without mattifying completely. And then whenever I'm wearing the 100% pure Long Last concealer with its super glossy finish, I like to follow it with 100% pure Bamboo Blur powder. And this, I like the packaging in this also. It has the little, it feels like a cloth mesh thing in there to keep the powder in, and then it has this in the middle of it, so that way the powder doesn't get all over the place either. I just take my brush and swirl it into the net or the mesh material, whatever that is, and then apply under my eyes. This is very mattifying, so I just really focus it under my eyes to knock back a lot of the finish from this concealer. And then the third powder that I have is by Olga's Organics. It has arrowroot, flower, cocoa powder, cinnamon, nutmeg, bentonite clay, ginger, and some lavender essential oils. It smells like lavender. It does not have a locking sifter, so I put my a cotton round in there so that way the powder doesn't get all over the place. This is just a translucent powder that I also like to use under my eyes or all over my face. This can be very mattifying, so I only apply a little bit, and I don't find that it mattifies too much if I just use a light hand. But if you want like a super matte finish, then this can also do that for you if you just apply a little bit more. And as far as powders, I love this E.L.F small tapered brush to set under my eyes. It is so perfect. It just fits right into my under eye area and my inner corner and everything. It's so soft, and it's like $2 or $3. You can get it anywhere. So that completes our concealer roundup video. I hope you guys found it helpful and hopefully not too long. I've been recording for 37 minutes according to my timekeeper here, and I'm sure that I will cut it down to hopefully less than 20. We'll see. I have also done a tinted moisturizer face off video in the past, and I will link it down below. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!